Correctly. Okay, so I'm going to time out of this in a minute. We're on YouTube now. It's just pairing up. Okay, so I'm going to time out of this in a minute. Okay.
You know it's an echo, right?
I don't I don't hear an echo. You hear it? I don't hear it.
I just
Huh.
heard what you said twice.
Oh yeah, because I just turned off YouTube. I learned that recently. So I just fixed it, sis. All right, I'm gonna send this to a few people so they'll know where we are. Get some people to join in. I'm so glad to see you, Queen. I haven't seen you live in a while. Welcome, family. Hold on. I'm letting some few people know where we are before we get started. So get your questions together and start putting them in the chat for my phenomenal sister. Let me tell you something. This queen right here has helped me level up to another level in life. And that's the is the truth, honey.
I just guided you. That's
You
it.
guided me more in connecting more with my ancestors, the whole nine. And she's always sharing phenomenal information with me. It's my sister right there, sister from another mother.
Yes, yes, yes. It's all love. It's all love.
Um, I just want to make sure that I send it to everybody so everyone knows that we're live.
Okay.
Um, so how's your day been today, Queen?
It's been pretty good. I saw a snake today.
Oh,
So
is that
that was
so?
interesting.
Oh,
Yeah. I saw a little snake today on my walk in the woods.
what kind
So
of snake was it?
a black and yellow one.
What is it?
I don't
What is
know.
it?
One that's alive. I don't know.
Girl, I don't do snakes. I know they say we're supposed to
I'm
be
not a
able to
big
connect
fan of
with them.
snakes, but he didn't bother us. He or she
You talking
didn't
about
bother
a
us. He just
garden
kind of
snake?
stood and looked at us and was like, "Hey, what's up?"
Was it a garden snake?
I don't think so because garden snakes are green.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I don't know what they're called. Wood snakes. I don't. I have no idea.
I know I'm going one direction and he going. Hopefully he'll go the other when I see a snake.
He just kind of stood there and looked at us and looked at me and
Mm-mm.
he let me take his picture and he was just like,
No, oh, you took his picture. You brave, brave.
yeah, I took his picture. I didn't get too
Okay.
close because I was like, I
Oh,
know
taking the
snakes
pictures of
can
the
jump
snake.
up. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna take your. I told him though. I told him while I was doing. I was like, I'm gonna take your picture. I'm not trying to bother you. Don't bother me,
Mm, 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 mm.
and we'll be okay.
I'm all set. I'm all set, sister. I would have been running.
It says a ribbon snake. That's what it. When I looked it up, it says it's called a ribbon Eastern ribbon snake.
That's why, like you be out there and gardening. So when you're gardening,
But
do
we don't have any snakes in the garden.
you don't find any snakes in the garden?
No, we have mosquitoes and like bugs that like to eat vegetables. That's it,
Mm-hmm.
and worms, earthworms. There's no snakes in the garden.
Mm. I remember years ago when I was very young. My grandparents. It was like going to our grandparents is like going to Disney World because they had the pool, they had the swimming pool in the backyard, they had the horses, the whole nine in New Jersey. And I never forget that day that my cousin we saw a garden snake. That thing was huge, and
Oh wow.
I was born in Philadelphia but raised in Maryland, so um, it was a garden snake, and I was petrified. And my grandfather told me that was a Philadelphia worm, city worm. Child,
A Philadelphia
he
city
told me
worm.
that was a Philadelphia
That's a new one on me. I've never heard that
Philadelphia city worm.
terminology. A Philadelphia city worm.
Child, I was
Mm.
petrified for years. My grandfather pulled my leg like that. I couldn't believe he said that to me.
I've only any other time I've seen a snake. The only other time I saw a snake was I was in upstate New York and we walked by this bush and I just happened to look over and it was a green garden snake on top of the bush. I was like, oh no. And he wasn't even that big. I was just like, I don't do snakes. But yeah.
Yeah, you know how to do it. I'm gonna post this real quick in our spiritual group so everyone knows that we're
That's
live,
fine.
and then we can get started. Um, so I want to make sure because a lot of people are interested in what you have to share. Okay, thank you for joining us, guys. Peace, peace, peace. Dawn Spirit here. Thank you for joining me with my phenomenal queen Nkanyezi. You know I gotta get comfortable. And let me see if anybody is on yet. Because I don't want to miss any questions that people may have for you. All right, where live is. So get your questions together, guys, down below. Okay, here we are. Turn down the volume. All right, we got Kelly here. We got Zatina here, Queen Zatina. Hey, Queen, how are you? Miss T.Y. Kelly is here. All
hello,
right.
hello.
All right. So let's get started. Where you want to start at, Queen? I know you got a lot of information to start off with, and I'm excited for you to share this with my community.
We could go straight into the herbs, especially since it's allergy season. So of course, always check with your physician. Let's go ahead and start that out. Always check with your physician on any medications, even herbal medications that you're taking, because it may counteract with other medications or other herbs that you're taking. And just because they're herbs does not mean that you cannot poison yourself or harm your body. So just keep that in mind, that herbs are medicine, just like a pharmaceutical drug is a medicine. So too much of anything is just as harmful. Even something what we consider good is still just as harmful as something, produced in a factory. So just keep that in mind. And of course, people's personal allergies, of course, keep that in mind, because you can be allergic to herbs, just like you can be allergic to food. It's still something that you're intaking into your system that you can possibly be allergic to. But something just real simple remedies. I am not I know what I know. Let's just put it that way. I don't know everything, but I know what I know.
You know
the herbs. I know that. Yeah, I know the herbs that I know. I don't know everything about every herb because it's millions of them. But the ones that I know and that I've actually used myself or my children or my family or my friends, I know they work. So right now, because it's allergy season, a lot of people have excess mucus. Something real simple that you can get from the grocery store. Get you a fresh piece of ginger and some fresh lime. Squeeze the lime, take the ginger and mash them up together, and take a tablespoon a day. Tablespoon a day, and it will help bring up that excess mucus from allergies that may be draining from your sinuses into your chest, or is just stuck in your sinuses. It'll help expel that excess mucus. If you cannot tolerate that taste, because it is strong, ginger is strong, lime is strong, you can add a little raw honey to it, or you can make it into a tea and add honey, ground turmeric, and cinnamon, and mix it up and make it into a tea and drink it, and it will still expel the mucus out of your body, out of your lungs. Mostly it'll come out of your, you'll spit it out. But it's always better to take it pure. Just take the ginger and the lime if you can tolerate it. Not everybody can tolerate that taste. It may be too strong or too spicy.
Fine, right?
I didn't hear you.
You said if making it into a tea, it should be fine. It should be more consumable. It should be easier to consume.
For some people, yes. For some people, they have to make it into a tea. But if you're going to make it into a tea, it's better to add the other stuff to it too. The ground cinnamon, the ground turmeric, and some honey.
Okay.
And a little pinch of pepper, because the pepper activates the turmeric. So you want to add a little bit of that too. Just a little pinch, not enough to augment the taste.
The pepper activates turmeric? I didn't know that.
You need pepper and turmeric together for turmeric to do its job. You need to add just a little bit of pepper. It can be cayenne pepper, black pepper, any type of pepper. Because if you notice that most drinks that have turmeric in them, it has pepper in it too. If you read the ingredients, a lot of times they'll have pepper in it. So
Oh,
yeah, just a little bit of pepper.
okay. Because I have a turmeric tea, but I never, and I always added it with cinnamon and ginger and stuff, but I never knew to add pepper with it to
It
activate.
might already have a little bit of pepper in it.
Okay.
So when you look at the ingredients, look, it most likely already has a little bit of some sort of pepper in it. And it
Okay.
doesn't have to be black pepper. It could be cayenne, crushed pepper flakes, just a little bit.
Okay. A little
Just
spice.
a little bit.
Okay.
That's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do, especially if you're having respiratory issues, you can do a mullein steam. You get you some mullein leaf,
Mhm.
put it in some really hot water, enough for you to tolerate it, because you don't want to burn your skin, because you're going to have to steam your face. So you'll take that mullein leaf, put it in hot water, put it in a bowl big enough that you can put your face into it, put
Mhm.
a towel over top of your back, and because you don't want the steam to come out, so you want to close it in as much as possible.
Okay.
So you want to put a towel over your whole head and over some of your back, and keep it as tight as possible, and inhale it as much as you can. And that mullein helps when you have any type of respiratory issues.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, so that's a definitely good one. For people who are having allergies and respiratory issues. The other one is nettles. What has been where, and I have allergies, so I'm when I tell people stuff, I've already tried it. So I'm speaking from actual experience. What
Mhm.
I've been doing with my nettles is making a nettles and lemongrass infusion,
Mhm.
dry nettle leaves and fresh lemongrass. And I boil some water, get a glass jar, put my fresh lemongrass and my dry nettles
Mhm.
in that glass jar, pour the
Right.
hot water over it, put a lid on it, and let it sit for about 3 to 4 hours.
Mhm.
Let it sit for about 3 to 4 hours, and it will turn either a really dark brown or almost black color. And you will drink that throughout the day. It cannot sit in the refrigerator for more than like 2 days.
Mhm.
After 2 days, you'll need to throw it out.
Okay.
But you can make it and keep it for at least 2 days. I prefer it warm over cold,
Mhm.
but it's all up to the individual's preference. But that has really helped with my allergies, and I'm not as itchy and sneezy, and my eyes aren't as watery. And that's really, really been all that I've taken for my allergies.
Yeah, because you do a lot of gardening and you work with Mother Earth a lot, so
Yeah. So
you're
I have to do something.
so
Excuse
this.
me. I have to do something to not be out there runny nosed and sneezing and just miserable.
Because I
And
know.
I'm starting to walk in the woods now.
Okay.
So because I'm going through the woods, I definitely sometimes am sneezing. And the first day that we went on the walk, my eyes were itching. I was sneezing. I was coughing. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to fix this if I plan on keep doing this little walk through the woods.
Right.
So
Okay. Okay. Wow. I learned something new. I didn't even know that. So, what other remedies do you suggest, Queen?
so that's for your allergies to boost your immune system. And I did this the entire winter, a couple of winters. I've done this. And I took oregano oil capsules,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the bottle says, that's what you take. But I only did it for 30 days at a time. You're not supposed to do it more than 30 days. So then I would switch up and take something else. So
Mm-hmm.
then my next thing that I'll take also is manuka honey. It's expensive. I will
How
tell
do you
you now.
spell it?
It's expensive, but certain stores, warehouse stores, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if I can mention the store, but certain
Yeah,
stores,
mention stores. That's fine.
Costco has it for $32.
Okay.
The big jars, it's about that big. And I
Manuka
take
oil.
like a
I mean, manuka
tablespoon
honey.
manuka honey.
And how
It's
do you
very
spell it?
expensive if you buy it in 99.9% of the places you buy it, it's expensive.
How
Because
do
it's like $31 for a jar of honey.
you? Mm-hmm. How do you
So
spell it?
I didn't hear you.
How do you spell it?
Manuka.
Manuka. Okay. Manuka oil.
Yep.
I mean, honey.
Manuka honey. And it's expensive, but it works. You can take a tablespoon to a teaspoon of that, as long as you're not diabetic, of course. and you don't have any other health issues that will stop you from taking it, you can take that every day, and that will keep you from getting sick.
Okay. All right.
That will keep
It's
your
like,
immune, because honey helps your immune system anyway. So
right.
it's something, I don't recall exactly what's in the honey that helps your immune system, but that honey particularly helps boost your immune system.
Okay.
And they that oregano oil and olive oil capsules and oregano oil capsules, both will help boost your immune system and
I
keep
didn't
you
know there was
healthy.
such thing as olive oil capsules. I mean,
They
that's.
have olive oil capsules. So I'm sure if you can tolerate taking that olive oil every day, you could do it
Mm-hmm.
straight, a straight spoon of olive oil. But that amount of grease doesn't work well with my stomach personally.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can take olive oil capsules. You can take oregano oil capsules. But
Okay.
I would, those two specifically, I would only do 30 days at a time and
Okay.
take at least a couple months break in between taking them again.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely for the oregano oil, you can't take that for more than 30 days.
Why can you not take it more than 30 days?
I don't recall the exact reason, but the bottle even says not to take it more than
Okay.
30, either 30 or 60 days. But me personally, I only take it 30 days. I usually don't do anything except for Manuka honey more than 30 days.
Okay. So what do you do? 30 days on and 30 days off?
Yeah, 30 to 60 days off. But the whole time you can do the Manuka honey continuously. That's not an issue. You can do that continuously. And it shouldn't bother you as long as you're not diabetic or have glucose issues or have, any allergies towards what's in the honey or honey, period.
Okay. All right. Perfect. I see you drinking plenty of water. You're hydrating.
I am. Well, speaking of hydration, drink your water. You know how I am. I had two surgeries on the same kidney stone. So
Mm-hmm.
drink your water. That is the best health advice you can give anybody, is to drink your water.
Yeah.
Drink your water, drink your water. Don't over drink your water, because drinking too much water will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually a disease. It is actually a cause of death. If you drink too much water, it can kill you.
Wow.
So you want to drink what's appropriate for your body size and your age and everything else, especially if you're taking medications.
I
It's,
heard that you were supposed to drink double your weight size in ounces in water. Is that true?
um, my holistic doctor told me to drink. She gave me the ratio and how to calculate it and all that stuff. But pretty much I'm supposed to drink a little less than a gallon. It
Okay.
was so many ounces that she told me to drink per day. So as long as I drink a little bit less than that gallon,
Mm-hmm.
I'm meeting that requirement.
Okay.
So I don't remember the exact ratio and calculations of how she did it, but I can find out for sure.
Okay. All right. And oh, also cuz I want you to tell them about your ancestor water too after we
I
finish
will,
the
I
remedy.
will.
Tell them your contact information, your website, your email, how to contact you so they can reach you. I'm going to also put it in the descriptions. So if anyone
Okay.
has any questions, they can reach you on IG or through your website or through your email.
Okay. Oh, I forgot one thing. Also, a quick spiritual cleanse. If you have nothing else, go to the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, just go to the ocean. Go to the
Yeah.
ocean and put whatever is on you, whatever you think's on you, and rinse your body off in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And talk while you're doing it. Speak
Yeah.
whatever you want to happen into existence.
Mm-hmm.
So people think, oh, I need all these different ingredients. Use what you got. If you don't have any, if you're not near the ocean, use some sea salt and
Mm-hmm.
put it in your bath water and cleanse your body that way, because salt is very cleansing,
Mm-hmm.
not just in the spiritual world, but it's very cleansing also in the physical world.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good for your body. It's good for, cleansing off your spirit, and how do I say it, and just breaking down what you need broken down
Right.
spiritually.
Right.
But
I've,
yeah,
I've,
so
I've told people, my clients, to like until they're able to get lemons and so forth. They have some sea salt, throw it in the corners of their house. Let it
mm-hmm.
sit there for a few days and sweep it up. I know salt is very. I actually salt and lemons were actually a way of exchanging or bartering for services or whatever, a way of payment,
Mm-hmm.
monetary reasons.
Salt, coffee, all of that. And you can do a cleanse with coffee as well.
Yeah.
But speaking of lemons, since you brought up lemons, that has been my new deodorant. And I knew about it as a teenager, but I was like, I'm not listening to these people talking about put some lemons up under your arms. I'm not wiping my arm with lemon. But recently I was like, okay, I'm getting tired of having to change deodorants because after a while, deodorants just be like, yeah, no, I'm not going to work anymore. I'm going to do my own thing. Right. And the natural deodorants don't work, but I don't want to keep putting the chemicals on my body.
Because it has
excuse me.
In those deodorants.
I didn't hear you.
It has a lot of toxic chemicals and aluminum
in
those deodorants.
Exactly. And it's being absorbed into your skin. And you have to be mindful of that. And you have lymph nodes in your underarm. So all sorts of stuff is being absorbed into your body and affecting it. And people are like, oh, why do I have this? Why do I have that? Look at what you're putting on your skin. You know, you're putting a bunch of chemicals on your skin. So I decided that I was going to try the lemons.
I've tried it too.
Yeah, just a plain lemon. A lemon, you squeeze a little bit of juice on there, rub it on your underarm, and it is better than any deodorant that I have paid $10 for, $12 for, how much ever, all these crazy prices I've paid deodorant for. It is actually the best deodorant I've ever had.
Just like they put lemon on seafood so it doesn't taste fishy.
Exactly. It's the same. Well, I don't know if my underarms taste fishy, but it's the same concept.
Down odors.
Yeah. And not just does it hold it. What it does is it kills the bacteria that causes odors. So when you sweat, you don't really smell like sweat. Right. You don't smell like lemons either. You just don't smell like anything.
Right.
Instead of you smelling like sweat. So I recommend lemons, and it's inexpensive. You can buy a whole bag of lemons for a couple of dollars, and you have deodorant for the whole month or 2 weeks or however long it takes you to run through those lemons. And I think you can do the same thing with limes.
Yeah, you can.
And it's so simple. You just let it air dry. Take off, if pulp is on your skin, take the pulp off, or don't, because sometimes I forget to take the pulp off and it'll fall off on its own. And let it air dry and you're good. And it's summertime, so it's definitely working. It's cold today.
I use fresh lemon on my face. I'll rub it on like at night, and then in the morning I'll rinse it off, and my face feels so amazing.
Yep.
I know you're not supposed to be in the sun with lemon because it can burn you. You're not supposed to wear it on your face in the sun.
See, I've never put it on my face.
Yeah, I put it on my face frequently.
Because my skin is so sensitive.
I'll take the lemons, wash them off, bless them, and then squeeze them all out into one container because I pour it into my water every day, a tablespoon of my water when I drink it, and I save the lemons in a bag, the leftover lemons that I squeezed, and then I'll just take it and rub it on my face at night, and then in the morning, especially if you get a zit, especially that time of the month, I don't have a time of the month anymore, but when I did, if I put some lemon juice on it, fresh lemon, in the morning it'd be gone. But they said you have to wash the lemon juice off in the morning if you're going to go in the sun because it can burn you.
See, I've never tried that. See, I'll try it and see because the skin on my face is so sensitive. It does not do well with a whole lot of variations of stuff.
Right.
So I'll try a little spot and see how it works. But also lemon in your water is a diuretic, which means because not everybody's going to know what diuretic means. Diuretic is something that makes you urinate frequently, which means that it's flushing out your system. That's why you have to drink water when you take a lot of medications, because it helps to flush things out of your system. And it helps to flush out the toxins in your system. That's why you urinate and you have bowel movements, because that's the removal of the toxins in your system. Right. So that's why it's also important to drink water, because it helps your bowels move.
Right. Right.
You know, a lot of people, I found out a lot of adults don't drink water
because they don't like it. They don't like how it tastes. I'm guilty of that. I've been like that, but I've gotten a lot better.
But you can add so many things to your water. You can add tea. Tea. Sometimes I add tea to my water if I don't want to taste plain water. You can add tea, you can add fruit, you can add lemons and limes. But the important part is to get that water in. Raspberries, you can add raspberries and strawberries and blueberries. any type of berry almost,
Mm-hmm.
to give it some flavor. If that's, you know, if that's what you don't like, is the plainness of it.
Right.
But you still have to get that water in, because that water right there is vital to so many body
Water
functions.
too. Yeah.
You know, that right there is a medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Water water by itself is a medicine,
Right.
because it helps your bowels to move. It helps everything to move properly inside your body. It helps your kidneys and your liver
Mm-hmm.
to flush whatever you're eating and the toxins out your system. So it's crucial. You got to drink that water. If you don't do anything else, if you don't listen to anything else, drink your water.
Yeah. And I speak into my water too before I drink it.
You know I do.
I know you.
You already know I do.
Speak into our water. When you speak loving affirmations into your water, or what you want to accomplish,
Yep,
and you're drinking that, it helps you manifest what you speak into your water, guys. So speak into your
exactly.
water.
And I speak into the water that I put on my altar,
Mm-hmm. As you should.
because that is to me a direct connection to my ancestors. So I speak in the water that goes on my ancestor altar all the time.
Right.
You know, any water that I come in contact with, I'm usually speaking to it, because I know that vibration, that frequency, and that energy travels to who I need it to travel to, whether it's a live person or an ancestor. It's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this is a mode of communication. This water right here is a mode of communication,
Right.
not just inside your body, but externally as well.
Right.
That's why, you know, people collect rainwater. That's why a lot of rituals are done with water and in the water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from all over the world, they use water as an element of communication,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially because it flows too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I learned also to, like you were saying, when you go to the ocean, speaking to the water. I actually did a video when we were in Puerto Rico where I spoke what I wanted to accomplish into the water that I pull up out of the ocean. I spoke it and poured it back into the ocean, and picked it more water up and spoke into it, like you just said, and poured it back into the ocean.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you speak, literally, I believe in speaking things into existence.
Right.
So if I want something to happen, I speak it out loud, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just receiving that message. The universe is receiving the message. My ancestors are receiving the message. My plants are receiving the message.
Mm-hmm.
Everything around me is receiving that message and receiving that frequency, because it's a frequency that comes out my mouth. It isn't just words. It's
Right.
a frequency and a vibration. So everything around me, when I speak these things into existence, I'm either going to speak life into existence, or I'm going to speak death into existence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all in what comes out of my mouth. These
Right.
words that I speak are powerful.
Yeah.
So what do I want to speak into my space? Am
Mm-hmm.
I going to speak power, or
Right.
am I going to speak defeat?
Right.
Am I going to speak life, or am I going to speak death? So
Mm-hmm.
it's important, even when you're speaking to your water, to speak it in definite terms.
Mm-hmm.
I ams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't want to say I wish, or I should, or I hope, or that's not a definite term. You have doubt in that statement.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that you speak into existence, it must be definite, whether it's in your water, whether it's in the air, whether it's to your ancestors, it's whether it's to whoever, even to us speaking to each other.
Yeah.
We have to be mindful about what we say to each other and what we say to other people, because you either going to speak life, death, defeat, or success.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to be mindful of those words.
Mm-hmm.
And I even tell myself that sometimes, because even sometimes because of my pre-programming,
Mm-hmm.
I forget, oh no, that's not
I'm
how,
learning
and
what
I'll
you.
correct myself.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, that wasn't, I didn't hope, I am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am such and such, or I am going to do this, or not even going to do it, I am doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I also want to see myself in the future at what I want to be successful at. So if I speak into my water and say that I want to own a horse farm, I see myself on that horse farm, raising those horses,
Mm-hmm.
riding those horses, or whatever that dream or aspiration is going to be. You want to see yourself doing it, but you also want to speak it into existence and then follow it up with your actions.
Right.
Because I don't want people to think, oh, I can talk about it and it's just going to happen. Nah, it doesn't work that way. You also got to double down with your actions.
Yeah. You gotta speak it with energy. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the two glass method. You know how you speak. How the two cup method, where you hold the one glass and you put your current condition on the one glass of water, and then you look at it and you feel the energy of what you're currently going through with that first glass of water,
Mm-hmm.
and wrote on a piece of paper and taped it on that first glass, and then take that water. You spend like 5 minutes of with that water and thinking of what you're experiencing now, and then take that glass of water and pour it into another glass of what you want to accomplish with a note on that other glass, and then you hold that glass and you concentrate and you speak into that glass that you want to accomplish, and it really works. But you
It
like,
sounds like the transfer of energy.
yeah, yeah, you're transferring. You're doing it's called quantum leaping, and you gotta feel it, because as you
Mm-hmm.
say, everything is vibration. If people
Yep.
knew how powerful our words were, they would not speak. They wouldn't say certain things. They'd be scared to speak.
And they would think, they would be very mindful of their
Very
words before they speak it. They wouldn't speak into their own lives illness and sickness and death.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when we say things jokingly, oh, I was laughing to death, or oh, I was doing this to
Mm-hmm.
death. Not that I'm afraid of death, but I'm not going to speak it into existence either. Because I feel like I got stuff to do, that I need to be here. I can do it from the spirit world, but it'll be a different concept and a different, interaction.
Or I'm
But,
always broke. Or
just
I'm broke. I ain't got no money. I ain't. No.
exactly,
Yeah. Like,
exactly.
yeah.
And we got to get away from that idea of being broke, the idea of things are that we live in a scarcity mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to get away from the idea of scarcity mindsets and the idea of we are infinitely abundant, because we
Right.
are.
Right.
We're infinitely abundant.
Right.
We have been programmed to think that things are scarce.
Mm-hmm.
There's a coin shortage. We're out of gas.
Mm-hmm.
We're out of this. We're out of that. We don't have this. We don't have that.
Mm-hmm. Creating fear, and
Not
that
true.
lowers your
That's,
immune system. That fear
yep.
lowers your immune system, and we gotta get more. We gotta unlearn what we were taught.
Yep. And then to go even further, you program that same programming that you have been, that it has become a habit within you, you feed to your children.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
So you put it in their food as you're making their food, you put it in their water as you're pouring their water,
Mm-hmm.
you put it in their minds as you're trying to raise your children.
Mm-hmm. It's a funnel.
Because it doesn't stop with us.
Mm-mm.
So you just pass it on to them, and it goes to the next generation. What people, I hate the word generational curses, but that's the term that they use
Right.
now. But that's exactly what it is. You pass on your programming and what did not work for you
Lack of confidence.
onto your children,
Yes.
instead of thinking and being mindful and sitting down and meditating on what did not work for you,
Mm-hmm.
and passing on what would be beneficial, not just to you, but to the next generation.
Right. So let me ask you something. I want to get on to what made you become conscious and get into the into herbs and gardening and all that. What made you get into
So
that?
I used to garden with my grandmother. So I'm like renewing my gardening spirit.
Okay.
So my grandmother, I used to garden with her. I used to garden with her. We used to dry herbs in the door sill and in the windows. And she taught me a lot of what I know. Now, I haven't done it in decades. I just started back doing it because I want to renew the self-sufficiency that I know is already in me. I want to tap back into those roots.
Mm-hmm.
But my grandmother, that's who taught me how to do a whole lot of
You
stuff.
just started. I mean, like I see you have a full garden.
Yeah, but I just started within the last couple of years
Okay.
because I hadn't done it for a while. For a long time, I was like, oh, my green thumb died. I was like, why am I killing cactuses? What is going on here?
Right.
I'm killing every plant. I would have its attention for.
You always
Huh?
give me a remedy for anything I tell you. Any question I have, you always have a remedy, for a natural remedy for everything.
So it's two things for that. I started listening. So first, okay, let's go back a little ways. So my grandmother is the gardening influence. This
Slim, I'm sorry, just speaking to our community.
Oh, hi everybody. Mm-hmm. So that was the gardening influence, but the remedy and the herbal influence was partially because when I turned 40, I was like, okay, either I'm gonna be fat or I'm gonna be 40. and I want to live to be 100. So what can I do for myself to make sure that I make it to 100 years old? And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to first become self-sufficient. And then second, I'm going to have to become healthier in my choices. So I grew up vegetarian. But at the time, I was still eating meat. I still don't eat. I never ate a lot of meat, but I ate meat. So I was like, okay, the meat in this country is trash. It has to go. That's the first thing I'm going to have to cut out of my diet, because I'm not going to make it to 100 if I keep eating meat here. So but that's a personal choice for me. I'm not telling everybody to go be a vegetarian or vegan or whatever. I'm just saying, for me, I grew up that way. So I was accustomed to it. So I went back to being a vegetarian. But I also started making other different life choices. At that time, I started exercising more. I started, meditating more and really getting into my meditation, where I would kind of do it here, kind of do it there. I was like, nah, you got to heal whatever's going on with you. You got to get back into your meditation, and you got to get right with your spirit. And then that's when you start.
Can't hear us. Hold on, Queen. Hey guys,
Okay.
can y'all hear us? Because if you can hear us, tap yes. Type in yes. Zatina, can you hear us? Slims, can you hear us? Miss Kelly, can you hear us? Just type in yes if you can hear us or not.
Yeah, because we've been talking for a while.
Yeah, I don't want to be talking in vain. My cousin just said in Vegas that she couldn't hear. Can somebody tell me if you can hear us or not? Hold on, let me I can tell you if we can hear. Okay, I can hear us. Quan, just go out and come back in. Okay, Miranda can hear us. My daughter-in-law can hear. Okay, they can hear us. Okay, let's get back. They can hear us.
What were we talking about? The gardening. So what happened was, not just becoming 40, but I started to go back into meditating more. And when you meditate, you go into different realms of consciousness. So you get different information from different realms of consciousness when you start to meditate. You'll have things happen to you that didn't happen to you before. And that's when my spirits was like, oh, she's up, she's awake, she's alert now. We can talk to her, and she's not going to be terrified. She's not going to not misunderstand what we're trying to do with her. So that's when that started clicking in, that spiritual intuition, that spiritual wisdom. I would get downloads and information, and I'd be like, what? Whatever, I'm not listening to that. But it would be correct. And every time I didn't listen, it would be correct whether I listened or not. And I was like, hold on, they telling me some good stuff here. So a lot of times when you ask me for a remedy, if I don't know it off the top of my head, spirit be like, tell her to do A, B, C, and D. And I'd be like, all right. And even when I look it up, and now I don't look it up as much, but before I would look it up just to confirm it. And it's always been right 100% of the time.
Right. Okay.
So that helped a lot, that meditation, that, going back to being a vegetarian, because you are more capable of receiving information when your system is healthier, because it's not as clogged up with mucus and toxins and whatever poison you're putting into your system. You can't receive the information that way.
Yeah, you're taking all those chemicals.
You won't. Matter of fact, I won't even say you can't. You will not receive the information that way.
Right. Yeah, because you're taking those chemicals that those animals were fed, in that anger and that pain and that torture that they endured. You're taking that same energy.
And before this, even if I was eating a piece of meat, if the bone was broken, I would not eat that piece of meat. Because I don't know what type of adrenaline or fear was in that animal with this broken bone. It may have been broken in the package accidentally, but I don't know if that was broken during the time it was about to die. So I'm eating all that fear. And this was just a theory that I came up by myself. I was like, now I'm going to consume that fear. And what is it implanting in me? What are those hormones that animal produces when it's in fear or when it's injured that I'm now consuming? And what does it do to me?
Right.
And I don't know for sure if that's actually a fact, but that's what came to me. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't eat broken bones. I would not eat if you gave me a piece of chicken and the bone was broken in it, I'd be like, I would throw the whole thing out. Or any type of meat.
of a thing for me because I love pork. I love beef. I love from the pork from the rooter to the tutor. That's how I was raised. And I have been pork free and beef free for a year now, but I miss it so much. But however, I sleep so much better. I always loved vegetables. I love that, guys. I don't care what it is. You can eat vegetables for breakfast. Eat
Yep.
plenty of vegetables. You got to eat vegetables.
You can eat vegetables and fruit for breakfast.
Yeah.
I'll fry some plantain for breakfast.
And even though it's processed and I got to get away from processed foods, but if I have to have a piece of sausage, like if I'm fixing my husband breakfast and I have to eat a piece of sausage, I'll throw a plant-based piece of sausage there in the pan, separate from when I'm cooking for him, just to say I had some sausage, even though it's processed foods, because processed foods could be just as harmful to you as meats. You know.
Oh, they are just as harmful.
Right.
Because they put a lot of additives in it to keep it stable.
Right.
So their processed foods are just as chemically laced as those GMO foods and as these meats that they pump up on hormones to make bigger and make more of it for the American diet. Mm-hmm. Because the meat that you taste outside of this country is completely different. It tastes like the food I grew up eating.
Yeah, that's how it was when I went to Jamaica. The chicken tastes sweeter. When I stayed in, and
it's not all fat. You don't get a chicken breast and it's this big. You get a normal sized chicken breast, which Americans think and consider, oh, that's a small piece of meat. No, it's actually a natural piece of meat, and it was raised the way it was supposed to be raised, and not hopped up on GMO feed and chemicals and things to make it big and plump and bulky, right, and filled with stuff that's gonna kill you in the end. Right. Or in the beginning.
Yeah, so I don't know why they're asking me. Zatina said my daughter tongue itches and can get bumps on them. Yeah, she can show it. Zatina said my 12-year-old daughter tongue itches and gets bumps on it sometimes, and Darren near scrubs it. And
what's she eating? It might be whatever she's eating she's allergic to.
She said, can you make her up something? Can you make something up for her daughter?
Hey, Zatina. I know Zatina. Hey.
I know Zatina too. You
it might be something that she's allergic to, though. So you have to kind of monitor what she's eating. And if she gets those, because I've had an allergic reaction before, and that's what happened. Mm-hmm. Certain things that I eat, it makes my tongue itch. Mm-hmm. That's why I don't eat them anymore, too. It made my tongue itch, and it would make my throat tighten up and my face itch, and like bumps would come up on my tongue. But I was allergic to it. So as soon as I stopped eating it, I stopped getting the itchiness. So I'm not going to say I'm 100% certain, but I'm that could be one of the things that's going on, is that she's having an allergic reaction. And if she is having an allergic reaction to something, she needs to stop eating it. Because allergic reactions can go from mild to deadly.
To chronic, yeah.
In just one transaction. Mm-hmm. It does not take long. You can have a mild one today, but tomorrow it can kill you. And I actually know people that happened to. Yeah, so if it's something she's allergic to, you really need to monitor what she's eating. And if you see that, after she eats apples, this happens, she needs to stop eating apples.
Yeah.
Because she's allergic to them, and the next allergic reaction may not be as mild. Mm-hmm. It could be deadly. Right. And that's something, that's with any allergy.
Yeah, like I have an allergy, like I can't drink alcohol. Now, because if I drink, I have an allergic reaction. My face will swell up, and red bumps will show on my skin, because as you know, your skin is an organ too.
Yep. So you get hives.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't be drinking alcohol.
Right. Exactly.
But it can go from something as minor as, swelling and hives, mm-hmm, to killing you. Mm-hmm. So if it is an allergic reaction, just be careful, be mindful, monitor what she's eating. Mm-hmm. If you have to get an allergy test, mm-hmm, they have the allergy test is not fun, but it shows you what you're allergic to. Yeah, so that may be useful too, to go to the doctor and have them do an allergy test on her. Mm-hmm. So now, most likely it's something she's allergic to.
What do you think is the best vegetables that one should endure consume? Because I remember back in the day, Doctor Sebi said that you shouldn't eat broccoli, cauliflower. There are certain vegetables he's saying that you should not eat that were actually man made. Years
I
many
remember he did say
ago.
that.
Huh?
So I like all vegetables. The one that you probably that isn't the best for you, I know, is probably corn.
Corn, yeah, corn.
Because
Yeah,
corn doesn't digest well,
it doesn't.
as we all know, because it comes out in your bowel movements
Right.
complete halfway whole half the time. So
Hmm.
your body is not getting a lot from it if it's coming out just like it started.
Right.
I love corn though. So
Yeah, my husband loves corn.
yes,
Like
I
a
love
corn.
corn and I
I love
love
it too, but I
broccoli.
don't eat it anymore. Very seldom you'll see me eat corn.
See, I like broccoli too, but I can't tell you because I don't know when broccoli was started growing in the world. I don't recall. Let me tell you. I'm not going to say that I don't know. I don't recall when and who made broccoli, or if it was already in nature, or if it was made in a lab.
Yeah.
I love
Everybody
broccoli.
do
So
your research on what we're telling you guys. Don't just go crazy. Do
exactly.
your research. Research is
Never ever. So even when the doctor tells you something, even when my holistic doctor tells me stuff, or any or a specialist or anybody else, I still look the information up
mm-hmm.
because they may be telling me, but they also may be telling me for their financial benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Or they may be telling me what they were taught to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to always do my own research. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care what it is. Any medication I've ever been given, I looked it up
Right.
before I took one pill. And I don't take medicine except for when I have a migraine. I don't take any prescribed medicines, not any pharmaceutical medicines.
Right.
I look it up when they give it to me because I need to know the side effects. What's this going to do to my liver and my kidneys later on down the line
Well, those
if I'm
commercials,
pouring all these
like
toxins
I'm
and
used to, like those commercials, and they tell you to
exactly,
take this kind of prescription, and then it has like a list of 20 or 30 side effects. Like, why am I taking it then?
exactly. The
Natural,
side effects are
so
worse than the
natural.
problem is treating half the time. I'm
Right.
like, so I'm gonna go blind. My
Right.
pinky toe's gonna fall off. My right arm's gonna fall off,
I'm gonna
and
grow
then
a
I'm gonna die.
mustache.
And then I'm gonna die just to get some eyelashes. Then
Right.
I'm gonna die. Yeah, nah, I'm
Right.
good.
Right.
I'm good. I'm
Right.
fine. Mm-mm.
So, what other
Yeah.
natural remedies can you recommend? Because you said you said several for the allergies.
Mm-hmm.
What other do you suggest?
The allergies, the immune system. It depends on what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing, and so many things do so like the nettles and the lemongrass. You can take that for an abundance of things, and you can take it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's something that I would definitely do for 30 days. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 30 to 60 days. But the nettles and the lemongrass is something that works on a lot of body systems.
Okay.
It is really good for tons of things, not just allergies.
Mm-hmm.
For women, raspberry leaf tea. I have a friend that just had a baby. My friend that just had a baby.
Yes.
And I was telling her to drink some raspberry leaf tea and nettles tea. I said, make the tea with the raspberry leaf, the dry raspberry leaf, and the nettles, and it helped increase her breast milk supply.
Wow. Are you serious?
Same day. She was like, girl, I done almost doubled it. And I was like, see, told you, just drink that raspberry leaf and
Wow.
that nettles. And it picked up on that milk supply. But raspberry leaf is good for women, period.
So raspberry
Raspberry
and nettles tea to
increase your breast milk
your
supply.
breast milk. Wow. I wish
Mm-hmm.
I'd known it because I breastfed all three of my children.
And I breastfed both of my children.
Right.
So
Right.
yep. And I used to buy, I wish I had known what I know now. I used to buy the tea. I would look at the ingredients, but I don't know why I didn't just make it myself.
Yeah.
I would buy the
Make your
tea
own
for
tea.
the
Yeah.
for the it's called breast something tea. I don't remember what it's called,
Mm-hmm.
but it's breast milk tea. So you drink it to increase your breast milk.
Right.
And as soon as I would drink it, it would increase. But I was like, now that I think about it, I could have made it myself.
Right, right. It's more natural when you make it yourself. I find that my teas that I make naturally are more potent than if I get them in the bag because you don't know how long they've sat on the shelf.
Exactly. Exactly. And if you grow those herbs, so the best garden tips that I can give a person, or the best herbal tips I can give a person, is grow your own herbs. Because at least you know they're not sprayed with chemicals. You know the source that they're coming from. You know how they've been grown. You know, that's the thing that we all should be working on, is growing our own food.
Right.
Even our animals. If we're gonna eat meat, if we're gonna eat meat, we need to be raising our own food. We need to be raising our own food, growing our own herbs. That's even if it's not enough for the whole year, enough that we can have some and we can store some, so that when winter comes, we have all this fresh stuff that we've preserved or pickled or put in the freezer. And we know where the source is. We know that, okay, we have these organic seeds and we put it in organic soil, and we didn't spray pesticides and all these chemicals on it, because when we buy the stuff from the grocery store, we don't know where that stuff is coming from.
Right.
That's why I like to travel, because probably about 99% of the places I go to, when I eat there, I know it's fresh. They pick the stuff out the yard, or they went down to the market, to the farm, and got the stuff that I'm eating, or they grew it themselves.
Right. Yeah, when I go to foreign countries and I eat with the locals, I know I can really taste the freshness of the food. And I also learned from you that if you take seeds that if you want to start a garden, and you take the seeds that you want to plant for your garden, if you put them on your mouth for a second or for a minute, or your saliva, it will grow to help heal your body of what you need.
Yep, that is true. I don't know if it's true, but I think it is. I believe that it is. It's just like your body, the enzymes in your child's saliva when you're breastfeeding tell your body what that child needs.
Right.
It says, okay, this child needs more calcium. So all of a sudden, you're gonna start to want calcium-rich foods. Same thing in pregnancy. Your body is able to tell you, hey, look, this baby needs some more vitamin D. And all of a sudden, you're gonna want to go out in the sun. Or you're going to want to eat, vitamin rich foods.
Right.
And it's not that you're having a craving, it's actually what your body needs at that moment. Hey, and I think nature works the same way. It tells you, you're able to program it to give you what you need.
Hey guys, did y'all have any questions? Anyone else have any questions so far about what Queen Nkanyezi has shared with us? This is the time to ask, so I can she can't see the questions, but I can. All right, so give them your email address, your website, your Cash App, your everything, Queen. I have you on dial. I'm always always messaging you all the time. So
yes, we are always talking all the time, but it's always a good interaction.
Yeah.
And that's part of things. You got to have good people around you with good energy, so that you can have good exchanges, good interactions, good frequencies, all of that stuff.
Yes.
So keep your circles tight. Yes. My IG is 3. The letter C is in cradle. S is in Sam, A is in apple, W is in water. That is my IG. That is also my email, 3csaw@gmail.com. My, what else did you ask me?
Your website and your Cash App.
Oh, and phone number. My phone number for 3 Calorie Shows is 202-854-9017. The Cash App is $, Yezi, YEZI, because it's part of my name. My name's Nkanyezi, so the end part is $, YEZIP. And Ancestor Water doesn't have only Veggie Vibes has a website. Ancestor Water doesn't have a website, because most people contact me through other people, or they contact me through Instagram.
Okay.
Or they email me.
Contact me, and I'll make sure I get in touch with her too. But I'm gonna put your information in the description.
Yeah, but they either email me, they call me, or they get to me through Instagram. I don't have a website for that one.
Now you have two businesses. So you have
Yes, I do.
the veggie business and then you have the ancestor water. So I want you to quickly elaborate on the veggie business and then I really want you to go in
Into the ancestor water.
ancestor water. That ancestor water is no joke. And no, you don't drink it, but that ancestor water will
Please don't drink
put you
it.
on points. I'm telling you from
Yes,
experience.
and you got one coming to you now, actually.
Right.
You got a couple things coming to you, but we'll talk about that later. So Veggie Vibes is an apparel company. So I sell men's, women, children, and baby. Well, younger children, infant, baby, clothing and accessories.
Mm-hmm.
It's geared towards a plant-based lifestyle and a little African vibe to it. So it's very righteous, let's put it that way. So that's that. That's Veggie Vibes. It's veggievibes.com. It's on Facebook, Instagram, all of that. I think on Instagram it's Veggie Vibes 3. Mm-hmm. Now to the ancestor water. Ancestor water is my baby.
Yes.
So
tell us how you started making ancestor water.
All of it is under 3 cowrie shells. So it's actually called 3 cowrie shells ancestor water. And there's different varieties for different reasons. The most popular right now is the customized one because everybody wants something specific. But I have general ones to meet general needs of my beautiful African people and my beautiful people who use the product. Mm-hmm. So I started, how did I start? It just, I mean, literally, it came to me. I was like, my people need something to make sure that they can cleanse their space. They need things to make sure that they can, cleanse their ancestor altars. They need things to connect their spirits. And I was like, so I'm going to make something for us. I was like, because everything in stores, that blue water doesn't meet our needs. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to meet the needs of people of color. So I was like, I got to make my own stuff then. Mm-hmm. I don't want a bunch of chemicals on it because it's no chemicals. Right. I mean, outside of, I have to put it in to pull the spirit and the energy from the herbs. I have to put it in grain alcohol or in that type of thing. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to make one with water. We'll see how that goes. Mm-hmm. But it's not as, to me, it's not, the energies aren't as strong in that one just yet. So I have to figure out how I can program it to make those energies just as strong. But it's all herbs. It's all herbs. So every herb has a spiritual life. It has a spiritual context. Mm-hmm. So, some people burn bay leaves and write their manifestations on bay leaves. That, that's the spiritual context for bay leaves. For other things, for every herb on the planet, it has it doesn't just have a physical need, it has a spiritual need as well. So right. Like as we all know, for roses, it's love, or, for red roses, it's love. I'm trying to think of something. For mint, it's money and prosperity. There's a couple of things for prosperity: nutmeg, mint, bay leaves, cloves. Like it's tons of stuff, but every herb has a purpose. So I didn't hear you. Cinnamon, yes, cinnamon, definitely cinnamon. Fenugreek. Mm-hmm. Fenugreek is for them finances. Mm-hmm. But every herb has not just a physical meaning, it has a spiritual meaning as well. Mm-hmm. So what I do is I take those herbs, you tell me what your needs are, what you're working on, what you want to manifest. And I take the herbs that coincide with that spiritual need, that physical need, mm-hmm. and I make your ancestor water for you. Right. So, like I say, what I do with mine can be completely different what other people do with theirs, because their spirit may speak to them differently. So right. What I do with mine is I rinse my hands with it and I say, say what I have to say in front of my altar. I say my manifestations. I say, the things that I want to speak to my ancestors or that I want to put into the universe. Right. But everybody doesn't have to do that. I also clean my altar with it. I clean my house with it. I bless things with it. Mm-hmm. So, but everybody's different. And yes, you cannot drink it. Do not drink it. Just because it's herbs and it's in vodka or it's in grain alcohol does not mean that you are supposed to drink it. Right. You are not supposed to drink it. And it says on the bottle, not for human consumption, not for breastfeeding women, not for pregnant women, and certain things. I tell that, I even like, if I know that, if I know you're my client and I know you're pregnant, it's certain things I will tell you don't touch it because it has rue in it. For us, because we need that extra protection. A lot of times I put rue in it. Matter of fact, all the times I put rue in it. So for like pregnant women, for, you know, children, I tell them you can put it on your children's stuff, but don't put it on your children's skin. And even my own children, I'll give them some rue, but I never let it touch their skin.
Right.
I'll put it in a little satchel or put it in something, you know, near them, or put it near their room, or put it in their book bag or whatever to keep them protected.
Yeah, I've sprayed my room, my house with your ancestor water. I've sprayed, misted myself when getting out of the shower, and just.
I put it in my car. Every time I get into my car, I put it on in front of me on the I just pour a little bit on my floor, on the passenger floor, and on the back. Every single time I get into my car, every time. When, you know, when I move into certain places, I clean my whole house with it.
Okay.
Because it's like a universal protectant, you know, and I've put what I needed or what I wanted or what I was working on, excuse me, in my own ancestor water. So I programmed it and I made it so that it meets my needs. Okay. So that's the way I do it for everybody. You tell me what you need, you tell me what you want, tell me what you're working on, and I program it for that person.
And that's how I met you. I met you through my godson. He told
me. Your godson. Yep. I'm making some stuff for him now.
He brought me a bottle of ancestor water and to an event I was having, and I was going through something, and he was like, "This is for you, Mama," and I was like, "Who makes this?" And when I opened the bottle, I was like, "Oh my God!" Holding the bottle, I could feel the energy, and when I smelled it, I was just like, "Woo!" Like, bust my third eye wide open, and someone that's not conscious wouldn't understand what I'm saying. They would probably like, "What is going on?" But I knew what it was. I knew what the energy was. I've sprayed it over our house. I've poured it around our property. I've sprayed it on me, or when I bring items in from the store. I've missed it with that, so I definitely need a new bottle because I'm totally out. But I've used it, you know, like if you have some guests that have came over.
I done sprayed it on people.
Huh?
I done sprayed it on people, and I have people, so I make one specific for protection.
Yeah,
and everybody who has used it swears by it. They like, "Yo, what did you put in there?" I said, "I put some get out my way stuff." Right. I was like, "It keep them away, don't it?" Swears by it.
The bottle protection spray.
Yeah, that protection, it plays no games.
But I still got the bottle. I saved the bottle.
I'll send you some more. More. But yeah, it plays no games. And you know, as Stacy said, she said, "You always smelling something." I said, "Yeah, because I need to know if it's right." That's my cue that says, okay, this is right. Okay, this is the bottle that needs to go, because I've smelled bottles before, and as I told you, I was like, it ain't ready yet. I smelled it and it's not ready.
Right. So all right, Queen. So I was is there anything else that you want to share with us? What about for rashes, for body rashes? Is there something you can recommend?
Aloe vera.
Aloe vera.
Quickest and easiest thing you can get. Yeah. And don't get the one in the bottle that's been sitting on the shelf for 2 years. And they get you a fresh. Matter of fact, if you give me a second, I can show you exactly what it should look like. Hold on.
I have one too, Queen.
Hold on, because I got something to put.
Let me go get my aloe too. In case you guys don't know what it looks like in person. A big one.
So I'm locking up my hair, so I don't want to have buildup in my hair. So I use aloe vera to kind of hold it in place instead of using gel and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So this is aloe vera. You can buy it from. This is what the aloe vera at the store looks like. So you go to the international market, go to Whole Foods. I think Whole Foods sells it.
Right.
Whole Foods International Market.
Yeah, and you just markets, they're selling them now too.
Okay, regular market has it too.
I got this from a local market.
Buy you some aloe vera, split it, open it up, take the gel out, and you can either take it out of the whole thing and blend it up into like a gel, and you put it on your skin.
I
And
use it
be
on my.
mindful of what you're eating. If you got a rash, you need to be mindful of what you're eating, because a lot of times we get rashes and think that it's an external thing, and it's internal. It's our body reacting to something we ate. So dairy a lot of times can give people rashes, but try some aloe vera. Clean that skin off and put some aloe vera on it.
In my smoothies, when I use these on my smoothies. I'll like you said, cut it open and scoop the gel out. I've also, and then whatever left over, I've turned it. The after I scoop out the gel, then I take the leaf itself.
Yep, I put it on my
I rub it
face.
on my face.
Yep.
This
And
this
so
goes
aloe
crazy.
vera,
It's a powerful thing. It's not expensive either.
nope. And aloe vera, you
Hair.
can get a little cheap aloe vera plant for $1 or $2. I
You can
have a
use it
plant.
in
It's
your
over
hair
there
for hair
somewhere.
growth. You can mix it with grapeseed oil and simmer it, and grapeseed oil and coconut oil. I love me some aloe. I always have one of these.
But also, it's good for constipation. So my daughters, when they were younger, had GI issues. They would have like chronic constipation. So the doctor wanted me to give them Metamucil every day. And I was like, nope. I said, what happens when their system gets addicted to it? And that's the only way they can have a bowel movement. I said, nope, I'm not doing that. Senna is too harsh on them. So like I was buying them the laxative tea, the natural laxative tea. Senna is kind of, it makes your stomach cramp up too much. So I had to stop giving them that. So I was like, okay, so what can I do outside of increasing their water intake and increasing their vegetables? Because they've always eaten fruits and vegetables. What can I do to stop, them from having this issue? I looked it up, and they said aloe vera. So I would buy the aloe vera juice, but now I started just pulling it out of the aloe vera myself. But initially I would buy the aloe vera juice, mix it with, because it's not a great taste, mix it with some orange juice or some apple juice or something. Mostly orange juice, because apple juice has a lot of unnecessary sugar in it. But apple juice can also help you have a bowel movement. So sometimes I would mix it with apple juice, but I'd try to get juice instead of sugar water with apple flavor. So you want to get 100% juice, or you want to make it yourself. Take that aloe vera and add it to some juice and have them drink it. By the end of the day, or in a couple of hours, they will be going to the bathroom. And for them, I used to get them like maybe a half a cup. Half a cup of aloe vera juice. And then a reasonable amount of orange juice or whatever, so they don't really taste it. It works like a charm every single time. And then give them a bottle of water afterwards, because they need the water for those bowels to move anyway. So giving them some water after that just kind of helps along the process. Every single time. For adults, I would take a cup or two of aloe vera juice, split that aloe vera open, scrape it out, blend it up, mix it with some regular juice, about a cup of that. And aloe vera works the same way on your insides that it does on your outsides.
It heals your insides.
So if it heals a cut on your skin or a rash on your skin, it does the same thing for your inside. So if you have GERD or you have any of those type of issues, that aloe vera, even if you take it solo without any juice, if you have GERD, you can't drink orange juice anyway, or apple juice. So, just taking it like that helps to heal the inside of your body as much as it helps to heal the outside of your body. And then it helps remove those toxins out your system by helping those bowels move.
So I make aloe vera smoothies all the time. You can make
I told you I'm about to make some gel so my daughter can retwist my hair with the aloe vera. All I'm going to do is open up the aloe vera, scrape it out, put it in the blender, use that as gel. And it keeps from building up, because I don't want have a lot of buildup in my locks. So that'll keep from me getting buildup, because aloe vera just washes out.
Right.
And it's natural, so it's going to help your hair grow. So aloe vera has multiple uses.
Yeah, I've heard of people doing the aloe vera oil with grapeseed oil. I've also heard of people for scarring. You can take aloe vera oil. I'm talking about aloe vera gel, and simmer it with coconut oil and grapeseed oil too, and use it as
as a scar treatment. Also, for cuts and stuff, you can use plantain. Plantain is a plant. I wish I had a picture of it. It grows everywhere. It's the plant that grows. It's like like a leaf, a round looking leaf, and it looks like it has lines on it. You can chew that up and use that for a cut, and it will heal the cut. Of course, you want to get something that hasn't had chemicals sprayed all over it, but it grows everywhere. That's what grows in the cracks in the sidewalk sometimes. And that is great for cuts. That might even work on the person's rash too. And you just, so you get a piece of plant and chew it up, put it on that cut, put some gauze around it, or on that rash, put some gauze around it, and it'll help clear it up. My last thing that I forgot, molasses. Molasses is good for iron. It gives you an extra little hit of iron, because I think it's like 20% blackstrap molasses. So I take blackstrap molasses when I'm on my menstrual cycle to help kind of replenish that iron that I'm losing throughout my menstrual cycle. And I still take it even when I'm not on my menstrual cycle. I just take like a teaspoon, tablespoon a day.
Yeah, I know most women, I used to suffer from anemia too. So I was an anemic for years, and then iron pills.
And yeah, if you're anemic, see, I'm not anemic, but I know that you lose iron during that time. I'm not anemic, but I know that it helps if you are anemic.
I'm not any longer, but I used to be, my daughters too, so, and chewing ice and stuff, so the black molasses, I'm going to definitely tell them about that.
Yeah, blackstrap molasses is very specific.
It'll constipate you.
Yeah, blackstrap molasses, the iron pills, a lot of times your body is not absorbing the amount of iron that you actually need to help the problem. So, you know, it doesn't make sense to take the iron pill and it's not doing its job when you can take, you can get iron rich foods and do, like, I remember when I used to give platelets long time ago, they would tell me to eat spinach, eat iron rich food. So I would take my molasses and I would eat me a bowl of spinach and some other vegetables that were iron rich, and that would help because it drains you out. So they want you to kind of help your body replenish that. So spinach, blackstrap molasses, all of that will help with your iron.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Queen. I didn't know we were going to wind up going this long. Someone said, Miranda.
Oh yeah, we're on an hour 15.
On her son's, on my grandson's eczema, aloe vera does. Yeah. Aloe vera is good for eczema too.
Aloe vera is good for eczema, but there's a whole bunch of other herbs that are good for eczema. But you know what? I've had eczema before, but mine was stress related. So you need to be mindful of your
stress related.
Huh?
All illnesses are stress related.
Most, yeah, pretty much.
Or something from
unless it's something that you were genetically born with, is stress related.
Life. Exactly. Yeah.
But so with eczema, it has a lot to do with your diet. Because my infant, when she was a baby, my youngest daughter, when she was a baby, had eczema too. And they told me to stop eating certain stuff because she was nursing. So I was like, how is she allergic to anything? It was what I was eating that was not mixing well with her body. So your diet has a lot to do with your eczema, your stress and your diet. So even children can be stressed out. I don't know why people think they can't, but even children can be stressed out. So be mindful of his level of stress and what he's eating. You know, if he's eating a lot of dairy, you might want to cut that out because that helps, that makes your eczema worse. You know, try to give him as many fruits and vegetables as possible. Make sure he's drinking his water. Don't give him a bunch of processed food.
We're supposed to be eating dairy for real.
We're not, especially not cow milk dairy stuff.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be eating that stuff.
Yeah. So milk, if he's drinking cow's milk, that's a definite no. A whole lot of dairy, a whole lot of processed foods, a whole lot of sugary foods that are not natural, like fruit or dried fruits or nuts, those type of things. If it's something like cookies and cakes and pies and stuff that has processed sugar in it or white sugar in it, that is going to make any disease flare up.
Right.
Processed foods and sugar are your biggest enemies.
Addiction.
Yep. Processed foods and sugar are your biggest enemies when it comes to any type of disorder. I don't care if it's cancer or fibroids or eczema. All of that stuff is fed by that sugar and those processed foods.
That sugar is a beast. That sugar is worse than cocaine.
But anything that they bleach has already gone through a process that's not good for you. They've just made it potentially deadly for you.
Right.
Once they
I
bleached
do
it. So
both.
bleached flour,
Mm-hmm.
bleached white sugar,
Mm-hmm.
it's another one that they bleach. All of that stuff isn't good for you. Your body doesn't process it properly because it's in an unnatural state.
Right.
So it comes out in eczema or in, other disorders and diseases.
Mm-hmm. The sugar is the number one addiction.
Yep. And
So.
that's the biggest thing. That's how I lost like 15 pounds one time in a month
Mm-hmm.
because I stopped eating sweets. I
Mm-hmm.
literally went cold turkey. I increased my water intake,
Mm-hmm.
increased my fruits and my vegetables. I was still eating meat then, but I told you, I don't, even when I ate meat, I never ate tons of it.
Right.
I cut down on all of that stuff. I ate no processed foods, increased my fruits and vegetables,
Mm-hmm.
and drank more water. And I lost like 15 pounds like that
Mm-hmm.
just from stop eating sweets.
Changing your way of eating.
Yeah, just literally, if you stop eating sweets and drink more water right there, that's half the battle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because like you said, sugar is
It's
just as
very
addictive as heroin and crack.
Yep. It's
If
very
not more.
addictive.
If not more, because more people are addicted to sugar than they are drugs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
we don't realize it because it's in so many things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start and read the ingredients on the stuff you're eating. So you're going to think, oh, this prepackaged meal doesn't have sugar in it. But if you look at the ingredients, it will say sugar. Why? Because it keeps you addicted to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that potato chip, it probably has been cooked with a little bit of sugar because it keeps you addicted to it. Or they put an addictive substance on it to keep you addicted to it, to keep you wanting it.
Ketchup.
So potato chips, processed food, all of it has sugar in it.
Yeah.
Ketchup has a ton of sugar in it.
Yeah. Ketchup, tomato paste, spaghetti sauce, all that stuff has just
even the things that you wouldn't even think has sugar in it. Bread has sugar in it. Mm-hmm. Plain old wheat bread has sugar in it.
Right. Yeah.
So
Tina says she thinks it's her daughter's having a reaction from milk.
She thinks she's allergic to milk.
Yeah, that's what they're allergic.
Yeah, then you're gonna have to stop giving her milk products. So no cheese.
I cannot drink milk. I can't.
No milk. So I don't like milk.
Cheese.
I've never liked the taste of milk.
I love cheese, but if I drink milk or eat ice cream, I'm clearing the city, honey.
That's because you're lactose intolerant. You got to remember, human beings ain't really made to drink cow's milk.
Eat that stuff. We're not supposed to digest that stuff.
It's for a cow.
Yeah.
It is for a baby calf. It's not for human consumption. Matter of fact, I did not grow up drinking cow's milk because I was allergic to it. And now I hate the taste of it. I've never liked the taste of milk. If you see me drinking milk, either I'm pregnant or something wrong with me.
And how they torture the animals to get the milk from them.
See, I grew up drinking goat's milk.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if I can do the goat milk. How did it taste?
Like milk. I guess I've drunk cow's milk before. It doesn't have a harsh taste like cow's milk. It's very mild. So
now, what do you think about the goat? Now, a lot of West Indian restaurants sell goat.
I milked a goat before, so which part of the goat are you asking me? I've milked goats before. So I had family that had a farm when I was younger.
What I want to know is, are most of the goats that they are serving at these restaurants, are they injected with these chemicals as well as the chickens and the cows and the pigs?
Well, most of the animals that we are fed in the United States are injected with something. I don't care what animal it is. It could be a fish. Mm-hmm. The majority of the animals are injected with stuff to make them larger and produce more babies and produce more profit for the industry. Mm-hmm. So they inject them and make them bigger because, the American public needs more meat in their life. They want more meat. They're asking for more meat. Mm-hmm. Well, and you also know they're in cahoots with the medical system. Mm-hmm. So the more food that I give you to make you sick, it goes straight to the health system because you're making these people sick. Mm-hmm. So now that profit also, so they just trading.
Right.
They're just trading back and forth.
I love my chicken and I love my seafood
but if you're going to eat chicken, go to the farmer's market or go to the Amish market and get the chicken. Don't get the chicken from the grocery store.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't even trust. I honestly don't even trust the organic stuff because I know what real organic food tastes like. And even the organic food in the market is not as good as the real organic food I've had outside the country. Food tastes totally different from what I had as a child to what it is now. Today it tastes like fake food to me. Where the food I grew up with tastes real.
I can't even eat fast food anymore. Like I used to eat.
Well, you're not supposed to be eating that anyway.
Right, you're not. But I'm saying I used to eat McDonald's and Wendy's and all this fast food, and
but even that tastes different.
Now that I haven't eaten it in so long, and if I try to say I'm hungry, let me just grab this real quick, I can't even eat it. It grosses me out. You know,
because it's not real food though. It's not real food. I remember one time long ago, I got French fries and it fell in my car and I didn't know I had dropped the fry. Months later, I found the fry under my seat and it was still in the same form it was that I bought it in. I was like, why hasn't this spoiled?
Right.
It should have spoiled like months ago.
Same thing they did an experiment with McDonald's burgers and stuff like that. And they even said Taco Bell, that beef, the so-called beef is not even real beef. It's like mealyworms.
Any of that stuff is not real. Most of the stuff that we get in the fast food, that's not real food. That's why I said your best bet at this point in history is to grow your own food as much as possible, as much as you can grow in your space. Even if you just have a kitchen garden and you growing your herbs and you're growing a little tomato in your living room or on your balcony or whatever, grow as much of your food as you possibly can, because that way you know where it's coming from. You know that it hasn't been contaminated. You know that it's fresh. Because some of that stuff, all they do is spray chemicals on it to make it look fresh. And you get, because I've cut stuff before and on the outside it looked good. When I cut it, it was half rotten.
Yeah, I've heard people say that to eat, it's better to eat frozen vegetables from the supermarket than fresh vegetables unless you garden them yourself. If you produce them yourself, then eat the fresh vegetables, but it's best to eat frozen vegetables because they put more chemicals on the fresh vegetables in the supermarket unless you're growing it yourself. Is that true?
I have no idea. I wouldn't trust it, period. Even with the organic stuff. If you're going to buy organic, make sure it's organic to things that you're eating the skin to. So like cabbage, asparagus, tomatoes, those type of things you want to buy organic. Stuff that you're not going to eat the skin to, I'd still buy it organic, but if organic is expensive. If you can't afford that, just make sure that you at least buy the stuff organic that you are eating the skin to.
Well, it's better to afford. It's better to be able to afford.
Pay now or pay later.
Than having, it's like a trade.
So that's what I used to tell my clients. Either you're gonna pay now with paying for good, healthy, high quality food, or you're gonna pay later with your health. It's your choice. It's up to you. You either gonna stretch that dollar and make sure you get an organic apple or whatever you're gonna eat, or you're gonna buy a whole bunch of junk that's cheap, and then later on down the line you're gonna pay with your life. So you're gonna have cancer and you're gonna have diabetes and high blood pressure and all sorts of other issues because you didn't do what you needed to do in the beginning. So you're either gonna pay now or you're gonna pay later. It's all up to personal preference.
Right, and if you really put that mindset, like if you really get yourself in the correct mindset and say, I'm going to eat healthy, and you put that energy out there, it won't be as expensive as you think it's going to be.
Exactly.
There's no Amish market here in Massachusetts, but I know when I lived in Maryland and we used to go to the Amish market, it was very inexpensive. It wasn't as expensive as it is to go to Whole Foods or all those. And
Whole Foods is expensive.
Not organic either.
Nope. And that's what people don't know. They assume that it's organic. Not everything at Whole Foods is organic.
Right.
Not everything at Yes Market is organic. All these health food stores, Moms, Yes Market, Whole Foods, just because they have it in there does not mean it's organic. And it's not even always the best.
Right.
So you have to read the labels. You have to be mindful of what you're buying. You have to pay attention because your health is your wealth. So you got to pay attention to what you're putting in your body. You are what you eat. They all sound like cliches and slogans and everything, but it was always true. And it still remains true to this day. You literally are what you eat. If your hair is not growing, what you eating?
Right.
Because the end of your hair is dead. The root is where your hair actually grows out of.
Right.
Everything past the root is dead.
Yeah.
So if you're not eating a healthy diet, your hair ain't gonna grow. That's why when women are pregnant, they eat better. Their hair grows all the way down their back. You know, what are you putting in your body that is keeping you from being healthy? Which means your bowels are moving, your heart is working the way it's supposed to, your kidneys are working the way they're supposed to, your liver's doing its job, everything is doing what it's supposed to do. Same thing with women issues. What you eating? You know, I've had clients who've had women issues, and it was what they were eating. They weren't drinking enough water. It was their diet. The majority of their problems were their diet. It wasn't that they were going through menopause, or it wasn't that you know, they had a hysterectomy, or it wasn't because they had ovarian cancer or whatever. It was their diet.
Okay, so with protein, so if someone decides, say, okay, I don't want to eat protein, I don't want to eat beef, chicken, or any seafood anymore. So, what would you suggest? What protein, what vegetables would you suggest to replace the protein that I'm going to lose from no longer eating meat?
Beans, the wonderful fruit. The more you eat, the more you poop. That's what my grandmother used to tell me. Beans
are chickpeas, right?
Huh?
And chickpeas too,
right? Chickpeas, legumes, beans, with whatever terminology you want to use. I know they're two different things, but I don't remember why they're two different things. But beans are a really good source of protein. There are other green leafy vegetables that are also a good source of protein. I want to say it's kale, but I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. But kale, beans, those type of things are also good sources of protein. I'm gonna look it up though, because I can't remember everything. Protein rich foods for vegetarians. I know the first one is beans.
You do your research, guys. Do a research. Start planning a healthier diet so you can have a healthier life. Even if you don't die, you want to die right away from what you're eating. You want to live a healthy lifestyle. You want to be healthy and enjoy life.
Also, nuts, seeds, whole grains, and vegetables. Like I said, kale, spinach, broccoli, and mushrooms have a good amount of protein. Whole grains like quinoa, spelt, amaranth, oats, and wheat. Wheat is tricky because wheat has a lot of chemicals on it nowadays. So be mindful about eating your wheat. Seeds, chia, flax, sunflower, hemp, and pumpkin seeds. Nuts, walnuts, almonds, cashews, and Brazil nuts. They also say soy-based foods, but for women especially, soy is a tricky thing. So a lot of this soy-based food that we're eating, and we're like, oh, but it's vegetarian, is not good for us.
Quality.
Yeah, it's poor quality, and it has a lot of. It's still made with a lot of chemicals. So the soy that they eating in
other countries.
Exactly. The soy that they're eating outside the United States is one thing, but the soy that we get a lot of times has been, you know, GMO produced and has all these different chemicals and stuff in it. So I would be very mindful, especially for women, in eating soy-based products.
Okay.
You know, so just those things can help you with your protein if you decide you want to be vegetarian. And still, you know, my motto is drink your water. Drink your water, drink your water, drink your water. Don't over drink your water, but drink enough water for your body type and size and age. Because you'll see that just by drinking your water, even if you never change your diet, just by drinking your water, it helps to flush some of that poisonous stuff that you put in your system out.
Right. All right.
That's just, I mean, it's the first step, but it's a step, you know. And the way I teach people how to, if they want to change their diet from meat eater to a vegetarian, is go slow. You don't have to just go cold turkey. I can go cold turkey, but everybody can't do that.
Right.
So I say go slow. So if when you had a meal, you ate mashed potatoes, broccoli, and a chicken breast and 2 wings, instead of eating that chicken breast, take the chicken breast off and just eat the 2 wings. And gradually you increase your vegetables. So then you're going to increase your broccoli or your spinach or whatever green vegetable you're eating, or your vegetables and your fruit. You increase those gradually, and you start to reduce your meat till you no longer have a taste for it. By the time you don't have a taste for it, if you try to eat that meat again, it's going to taste disgusting. Right. Because your body will have adjusted to not having it. Yeah, and you'll be like, oh, why does this taste like this? Because your body don't want it anymore. Right. It's not hooked on it anymore. Right. So you don't have to go fast and hard. You can go slow and gradual. Mm-hmm.
I heard that meat, beef, and pork, even chicken, can block your third eye too. Once you stop
meat from this country can block, and any food from this country can block your third eye, block all your chakras, block everything, block your spiritual connection, all of that, because it's so chemicalized and it's so poisoned that it produces mucus in our bodies, which block a lot of things, a lot of our spiritual connections, and block our, messes up our chakras, because now we got unnecessary mucus in our body, because there's mucus in our body naturally to lubricate stuff, but it's unnecessary mucus. So it's a buildup of mucus in your lungs and your sinuses and in your body cavities and everything that you don't need. So that's why you have to be mindful of what you eat.
Okay. All right, Queen. Well, let's shut it down. I appreciate you taking out the time in your busy schedule. You are a busy woman. I know it's like, even though we text back and forth and we correspond quite often, I know you have a very busy schedule, and you're a mother of 2 beautiful princesses.
Thank you.
Those are my babies too, so I appreciate you taking out the time to help.
Thank you. And I appreciate you taking out the time and inviting me to your platform.
Definitely. And welcome back anytime. Guys, please check out Queen Nkanyezi. This is my queen sister. I love her to death. She's an amazing person. Check out her website. Check out her products. If you can't find it, hit me up on dawnspiritk@gmail.com or my website on queendawnspirit.com. And I'm also on
your IG.
And I'm on IG at Queen Dawn Spirit. And you can reach her on Queen. You can reach Queen Nkanyezi on IG as well.
And if you haven't gone to get her Reiki, oh my goodness. I had her work on my daughter and my friends. So I trust her. You know she does good work. If I allow you to work on my children, you already know. I trust you, and you do excellent work. So if you haven't booked a Reiki session with Dawn, I'm trying to tell you, it will change your life. And my friends will tell you. They will tell you, because I've taken friends to her. They will tell you it will change your life and change your perspective. So definitely book your session if you haven't already.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I love healing. And I love guiding people to help heal themselves. So
exactly.
You and I had an instant connection from the first time I met you.
Because we're both healers. So we were like, it was just like, oh yeah, that's my frequency right there. Yep, that one. Yep.
Yes.
Because I tell people sometimes, I'll be like, you're going to be my friend. They be like, what? I said, watch what I tell you. I've told people all that all the time. I'll be like, you're going to be my friend. Watch, because I like you. We're going to be friends.
Well, thank you so much, Queen. I love you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I love you. Thank you for tuning in. Share this video. If you haven't already subscribed, tap down below to the left and make sure that, it will be to your right. Tap down below to the right and subscribe to this channel.
Subscribe. And share. Sharing is caring.
Yes, and send it out to the YouTube universe, because this video can help someone, even if it's not helping you, which I can't see why it wouldn't help you. Share it with other people that can help them as well. All right.
And ask questions. If after you see the video, please ask any questions. If I have the answer, I can give it to you. If I don't, I can send you to the right source.
Right.
So feel free to ask any questions that are relevant to healing.
A library of information, honey. She will give it to you. She'll give it to you directly.
If I know it, yes, I will give it to you. But I also send you to where whoever has it. If I don't know it, I'll send you where someone has it. So definitely ask questions. A closed mouth does not get fed.
It sure doesn't. Ashe, everyone. I love you so much. I'm sending you all Reiki healing, love, and prosperity, and abundance and protection. Enjoy this last energy from this new moon. I think what it ends like Thursday. Is it Thursday or Friday?
I don't remember.
It's 3 days before, 3 days after the day of. So, what was the new moon was yesterday? So Thursday, Friday. So you have the energy until Friday. So
Yep.
make it work for you. Okay.
Yes, 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 indeed.
Okay, guys. Love you. Peace out.
Peace, love.